You have a lot of personal experience with being looked at as strange in our family even.
Yeah.
And then people getting sick and coming around to doing your diet 100%.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you've always been a very confident man.
They first make fun of me and object to me, and then they come around and want my help and want to listen to me.
Well,
right.
for sure. Or, yeah, I don't even know make fun if I've heard that, but I've heard definitely happy they don't eat this way, and then now really happy they eat this way.
Yeah.
And you were unwavering 100%. Yeah, you've always been very good at talking the talk. You've always had a lot of confidence. What do you attribute that to?
I don't know. I think it was. I think it was that understanding that there's so much tragedy in the world today, both physical health and emotional health, that stems from childhood poor nutritional habits and then eating like Americans eat, that I felt it's so tragic. There's so much suffering that doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
That I can be consistently be able to reduce the suffering of myself, my family, and other people by being consistently one way about this, because it's just so prevalent. It even permeates people's behavior. And when we're talking here about emotional health, negativity and unhappiness, how that intertwines with the unhealthy diet, and the unhealthy diet magnifies that anger, that frustration, that lack of care for other people, the narcissistic tendency to want what you want right now, regardless of how it's going to affect others, the world, future generations, or, we could do anything to harm other people because the more we're narcissistically consumed with our own needs, then we can do anything that hurts others. It doesn't matter, right? And I think
you're not even happy at the end of the
day.
And
the person's not happy, and food is intertwined with this.
It's a vicious cycle.
It's a vicious cycle because the bad food leads to the bad thinking, and the bad thinking makes the desire for the bad food.
Exactly. It's a very hard cycle to break.
Yeah.
And then people who do break it have to understand that's exactly what they do. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tough work, but it feels so good. And then once you get into the habit, the right habits, that also is a cycle of positivity.
Yeah, that's what we do with the retreat. We cycle the eating program and we cycle the emotional wisdom simultaneously so people can build both up. And that works better that way. That's what we're talking about it today.
Yeah, and I think what's so interesting is when we pair the literature with what we also see at the retreat, how we do see negativity biases at the retreat all the time. And I don't think you necessarily thought you had to address that at first. And then when you started working at the retreat with 20 guests at a time, you started saying, oh my gosh, they really start getting complaining when they're struggling with the food.
Yes, when people first come in, and especially I've seen it when people they're drinking soda and whiskey and eating junk food, and they come in and all of a sudden everything's taken away from them. And I'm noticing that they're trying to seek out things to be negative about and complain about. And it's so obvious what they're doing, because this is not something that would bother you or me. Every little thing becomes a big issue that's really upsetting to them.
And they need extra attention, for sure. They need to talk with you. They need to sit down. They need to...
They need extra attention, yeah. And you can see how difficult it is when they're no longer relying on their addictive behaviors to de-stress, and the whole world becomes their enemy now.
And very stressful.
Stressful, and they bring the stress to other people. They put the stress on you, and they start to, and everything starts to become a major issue.
So how do you help them?
I think that we get back to this whole idea of, I know this is tough for you, and this is hard to do, but this is how we get through that. And it's okay to feel bad the first couple of days, physically and emotionally. It's going to go away, and we're here to help you. And anything, and this is what you can do to help you. But you can help us help you too, and this is what you can do to help.
And this is why the retreat, you were adamant when you opened the retreat that it has to be 1 to 3 months, minimum of 1 month, because this is the hump, and people get over. You wanted to make sure that people get over the hump to then make this a part of their everyday life. And
get adequate training. My original idea, of course, was 3-month stays. The only reason I do 1 month stays is because so many people can't afford or can't get away for 3 months. But I'd really love to be 3 to 4 month stays, let's say.
Yeah,
what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
Because
I wanted to do less people, more time, more of my commitment to them to make sure I can get a long-term success, because I was, I'm very grateful for the thousands of people I've been able to have helped. That's such a blessing in my life, right?
Yeah.
But there's also, just helping one person is a blessing. and having to be able this close relationship with people over time, where you have a higher probability of helping them long term, it makes you really feel good.